Hi guys, this is our video about using your calculator to find zeros in polynomial. So if you look through these notes, first page is like just some kind of, these are the buttons we're going to use a lot. And then there's these steps here. Step 3. I kind of stopped listing the steps. I might fix that, but this is the last step, whatever. So these are actually some really handy tips if you're lost or you're like, I can't see the function or something. I'll look at this page. But that's what I wanted to do like a demonstration to them. So I'm going to use my little emulator here and hope y'all can see this. But basically, first thing you got to do is you got to type this function into your calculator so it knows what to graph. So you hit this y equals button here. It gives you all these y's. We're just going to plug in the first one. To get the x, I always use this button here. It says x, comma, t, comma, that's a Greek letter theta, and if you press it, it'll say x. And then to get the cubed, you do the caret, the little up thing here below the clear button, and then a 3. And then if you keep typing now, it'll leave it up there in the exponent, so you got to hit the right arrow key, and it takes you out of the exponent. You see the left and right arrow keys kind of scroll you in and out of the exponent. Plus 2x. Now you can do caret 2 to get the squared, like we just did for the 3. Or you can just hit this little button here that says x squared, done right above log. And it does squared. It's kind of nice because it takes you out of the exponent immediately. You don't have to press, like it's not like the cube where I had to leave the exponent. You get squared, it just squares it, moves along. Minus 11x minus 12. You hit enter, and now that's log. Now that thing is like it's like in there. If I hit this graph key, it'll graph that, whatever that looks like. So you hit graph and you see what it looks like. Okay, it goes up and it comes back down and it goes back up. Okay, cool. If maybe you wanted to see the top and bottom of it, you could zoom out. I'm going to do that just to show you what it looks like, but you don't have to do this. We're looking for these points here. It looks like 1, 2, 3, like -4, -1, and 3. But we're going to like use the functions here to check because it's often it won't be right in the middle. It won't be right on those lines. Anyways, you hit zoom. That's this middle key up here. So zoom. If I want to zoom out, I can either scroll down and hit enter like that, or I can just type the number 3 and hit enter. This little blinking thing now, see it's at 0, 0, was asking you where you want to center the zoom. If you just hit enter, it'll just zoom out from the middle. And nothing looks like that. All right, it's like kind of curvy, whatever. I'm going to zoom back in just to get zoom, to get it back. Actually, if you hit zoom 6, it does this is a standard zoom, which is from -10 to 10 and -10 to 10 on both x and y. That was where we started before. So there we go. And now we're going to find this 0 over here first. It sure looks like -4. I think it is, but we're going to find it anyways, just in case it's not. Here's what you do. This is second trace. This is the first. This is kind of how we get to the. Is this calc up there? That's where we're going. So you get second trace, and you can calculate all these things. We're going to calculate a 0. So again, you can either scroll down once and hit enter, or you can type in the number 2, and it'll just get you right there. And now it says left bound question mark. It's like, where is the, it's like, figure out which 0 you want to find and move to the left of it. So we're going to find this one. Down here, it tells me where my cursor is. So I can scroll to the left. You can see this x is like negative something and the y is negative something. And now the x is still negative, but the y is positive because I'm above the x-axis. I'm going to scroll left until I get past that 0. So like, if you think about a straight up and down line here, like, and where the 0 is, I'm to the right of that up and down line, and it means get to the left of that vertical line. So now if there was a vertical line drawn through the 0, I'd be to the left of it. That's what it means by left bound. It means go to the left of where you want. 0, I hit enter. My calculator draws a line there with a little arrow, and you can see that the 0 is, like that line is to the left of the 0, which is what it means by left bound. Once you do that, it says right bound. So you go to the right of the 0. It's usually just a few clicks because you're already pretty close to it. I'm now, again, if I imagine a vertical line going straight up and down through that 0, I'm to the right of it, so I hit enter. It draws another line. You can see my zeros like sandwiched in between those two little arrows or in between those two little lines. It says guess. You could scroll once to the left and hit enter, or you can just leave it where you are and hit enter. It does the same thing. It tells me that 0 is -4, so that's one of my zeros. Heck yeah. And then you can do the same thing for the other ones. So you give, and then you would like write this number, you'd write this number down. In this case, it's pretty easy to remember because it's -4. That's one of my zeros. Then do it again. Second, trace, go down to 0. And now it leaves you where you were before, but now I want to be to the left of this 0. I'm technically to the left of it now, but it's better to scoot a little closer to it. So remember, if you imagine a vertical line going straight up and down through this point, I want this thing to be to the left of it when it says left bound. Then I hit enter. And it draws that line to the left of the 0. Then it says right bound, so I go to the right of that 0. Again, the right of a vertical line that would be going through it. And I hit enter. And like the 0 should be like sandwiched in between my two lines. If you have a different, like not the color calculators, it won't draw the lines, but it'll put these little arrows up here. So you just have to kind of make sure it's between the arrows, or if it's not that. Once you figure out how to do this, you never even look at the arrows. Once you have your left and your right bounds, you just hit enter again for the guess, and bing, it's -1, 0. So I would go over here and I would write down -1, 0. And then I'll do it one last time for this one. Second, trace, 0, scroll over a bit. There's my cursor, and I can tell because I'm like I'm moving left to right on this graph. Anything below the axis here is going to be to the left of the 0. So I hit enter, and I scroll past it, and I hit enter. I hit enter again, and I get 3, which is exactly what I thought it was. So, I'm going to do the other one right now. I'm going to do it a lot quicker because I just want you guys to see how to round these things. If you hit clear twice, it'll get out of there. So this is the second function I put on this little, at the end of these notes here. X cubed minus 2x squared. So if I want to put it in here, if I want to get rid of this thing, I can just hit clear right now. Type it in real fast. X cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 10. Enter. Graph. Looks kind of similar to the last one, but it looks to me a lot like it's not going right through one of those markers. So I'm going to have to, I can't just read the graph. So I go down to 0 again. I try and find this 0. I scroll to the left, I hit enter. I scroll to the right, I hit enter. I hit enter again. That 0 is not a nice number. -2.236068. So I'd round to the nearest thousand. -2.236, count 0. Second, Calc 0. Zip on over to this other one. It's like honestly kind of hard to tell if there are 2 zeros there or it just hits the axis exactly. I'm going to zoom in there so I can see a little better. Are there 2 zeros? Yes, they're very close together then. So it looks like one of them might be 2 actually. So let's find out. So go to the right. It looks like there are 2 zeros there. Hit enter. Go to the left of it, hit enter. All right, that one is 2. Which means the other one is definitely not 2. to the left of it, and I go to the right of it, and negative 2.236. No, it's like kind of the positive version of the other one. So these would be the 3 zeros for this one. And sometimes these match, and sometimes they look like they're close to each other, sometimes they don't, but either way, that's how you find zeros. And we'll talk about this more in class. Bye.